Good to see you, man.
Nice to see you too.
All right, you've done, and we've talked over the course of your career over several roles.
Many times, yeah.
You've done some big stuff. I want to know where this one ranks on your resume.
Oh, I think, it's a little, like Deadpool is something that like a rock I was shoving up a hill for over a decade. But in terms of like cultural impact, this is right up there. I mean, there's a reason Pokemon's been a phenomenon, like a worldwide phenomenon for so long, for 20 years.
Yeah, can you believe that? Did you ever play the games?
Not really, no. I'm not, I won't sugarcoat it. I didn't know that much about it. I knew about Pokemon. I knew about Pokemon Go a little bit, but I didn't watch the stuff as a kid because it wasn't really around. I think it was like 95 or 96 it was created, and I was already, living in bars at that point. So I don't,
You and I are in the same boat because
yeah.
I'm a casual fan, but that's what I love about this movie is that I loved it. I learned a lot about it.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, I might have to explore this a little more.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, when people were running around with the phones and doing the games and
Yes.
things like that, I didn't do it, but I followed people that were doing it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It was interesting. I mean, anything that sort of takes the culture by storm like that, I'm always interested in, but this is one that I didn't take part in, so I had to learn. What a steep learning curve that was. I just was inundated by the Pokemon people with just like information and videos and everything, so. Did
your daughter really have influence on you taking this role?
A little bit, because when they sent me the test of it, they had a fully rendered CGI PIKACHU, and they paired my voice to it. And apparently they'd paired a bunch of actors' voices to it, but they decided that my voice sounded like the one they wanted. So I played it for my daughter, and she just flipped out. And that's just so I think they knew I would play it for my daughter or something, so she just flipped out. And then from there I was in. And then I read the script, and it was like, you have to look at it like, okay, what if you took what if you took the fancy Pokemon stuff out? Does the story still work as a story? And it did. For me, it was like a brilliant mystery, speaking of universal themes of love and loss and all that stuff. So I was in. I was just in.
You've done voice stuff before, obviously, over the years. Yeah. But what made this different? Because you also had to do some motion capture for it, if I'm not mistaken.
I did a lot of motion capture. I did motion capture all over the world, yeah. Because I was shooting in Abu Dhabi and Spain and Italy and London and all over the place. So I did motion capture everywhere. Yeah, it's weird. When I watch it, Pikachu, it's very different than other people seeing it. I have trouble with Pikachu because I see myself in each micro facial expression, which is super weird. So it's taken some getting used to for me.
That's why I'm looking at it over there behind you, and then I'm looking at you, I'm like, okay, I see it. If you could have a Pokemon power, Ryan, what would it be?
If I could have a Pokemon power, what would it be? I'd go with Snorlax. I would love to be able to sleep, I'm usually like, in the middle of the night, I just sort of wake up in a silent scream at a perfect 90-degree angle. So that'd be nice. Just like a perfect, 9-hour sleep. That sounds great.
Congrats on the new arrival. Great talking with you, man.
Thank you.
You rock.
Pleasure.
My man. Dude, it is great to see you. Last time we were in Hawaii.
Yes.
Talking Jurassic, and look at you now.
Look at me, I'm here.
You are a huge Pokemon fan,
yes.
I am told.
Yes, correct.
You played the games, you had the cards.
I had all of the original cards. I had Pokemon Gold for Game Boy Color, Pokemon Crystal, Pokemon Stadium, Pokemon Snap for Nintendo 64. I have Pokemon Go now on my phone. I'm gonna get Pokemon Sword and Shield when it comes out. But there's a gap in the middle where I didn't play the games, But I have my little brothers for that. They're experts, more so than I am.
So when you found out you were part of this film, because you were a fan before any of this,
yeah.
And when you found out you were part of this movie, did you just scream or?
Yeah, I actually got the call when I was in New York, and Are we in New York right now? We are, right?
We are. Yeah, I know. I did the same thing. But you're fine because I've been doing that all week. I have to look at my phone to see where I'm at.
Yeah.
Not trying to be that guy, but still, you know what I'm saying?
I do.
Yeah.
So I was here, and I was in a cafe by myself having a nice private breakfast, and I get the call that I got the job, and I remember I wanted to celebrate, be ecstatic, or express myself, but I couldn't because I was alone. So I packed up all my stuff quietly, and then I ran out on the streets of New York, just jumping for joy. And I figured that I could do that in New York because everyone's kind of crazy in New York, Everyone acts like that, so.
Dude, I almost feel sorry, like I should show you some balloons or something and retroactively celebrate, because here you are being in one of the biggest movies of the year, and you're just like, you can't celebrate because you're by yourself anyway.
Yeah, I know, it was so sad.
That's an awesome story, and I love that. What was most challenging about playing this role? Because your director's singing your praises, the entire cast singing your praises.
Oh, wow.
You have, without giving anything away, you and Pikachu are pretty close, but you're not, what are you looking at? Without giving things away again.
Nothing.
How did you film
I don't even know. It's all blur. Usually it was that we had puppeteers on set. There was like a stunt Pikachu. There was a green Pikachu. Or sometimes there was tape on the floor that I had to look at. But we always had to do a take where there was no puppets and it was just me looking at the air, just for special effects purposes. So about 75% of the movie, 80%, is me with a man in my ear and talking to nothing, just talking to the air.
Your director saying your praises. He's like,
That's
he
so
pulled
nice
it off.
of him.
He just told me. He's like, I don't know how he did it. Well, that's why he was cast. But he goes, he pulled it off. He did it. All right. If you could have any Pokemon power, what would it be?
Good question. I've never thought about this. Something psychic, like something like psychic or ghost power. That'd be really cool. Like disappearing or like making people confused. I think I already do that.
We're gonna leave it on that one. Dude, you're awesome.
Right.
Great to see you again.
Nice to see you too.
We met at Blockers, and
Yes.
here we are talking Pokemon Pikachu.
That's right.
Did you ever play the games?
I did play the game. I had it on my Game Boy way back in the day. And I also watched the anime. I had a Pikachu backpack my first day of school. It was a part of my life.
So when you found out that you were part of this movie, were you like, oh, this is going to be, it's nostalgic.
Yeah.
It's entertaining.
It is nostalgic.
And it's fun.
It is fun. It brought me back to my childhood, even, when we were filming it. It was like, it was just crazy to see Psyduck in real life. You know what I mean? Like, I got to hold him and even the Pikachu and, like, really, it's a dream come true. So I feel like if you're a Pokemon fan, it's what it hopefully will do. It's like, I always wanted a Pikachu in real life, you know?
I still do.
Yeah, exactly. So like when you've seen it, you saw
Right.
it. Yeah, like it's what it would be like in real life.
What was a typical day on the set like?
Typical day on the set?
Or was there a typical day on the set?
Oh, no typical day on the set, okay? My driver, Danny, would show up in London. I was living in London. I mean, like, that was a dream. And then you show up to set, and, like, we have our hair and makeup trailer covered in Pokemon. No, there was nothing normal about it, yeah.
Did you see any characters, though, like on the set? Because I know a lot of it. Oh, so you did. Tell me, without giving things away, like, tell me the characters that would be there on the set.
Oh, well, there would be Psyduck, there'd be a Jigglypuff, there'd be a Greninja, you know, and you could, like, feel, like, the Greninja's tongue or the Lickitung tongue, you know what I mean? And it's a little like, whoa. But, yeah, so they would just be on set, like, hanging out. They all had chairs.
Wait, whoa. I want to know more about that. Just kind of chilling over there.
Well, yeah, you know, they gotta sit somewhere, you know, in between takes, yeah.
If you could have any Pokemon power, what would it be?
My immediate thought was a psychic power. But, I mean, Psyduck is a psychic Pokemon. But I'm really into the fairy Pokemons. Like, that's kind of, like, my fave, because I love fairies. But I don't know, maybe psychic, yeah.
Mine is Speed Boost.
Speed Boost? Well, that's a great one.
Because you
You
have to
could
get
speed anywhere.
anywhere you got to be.
You'll never be late again.
You can't be. Working with your co-stars, because what an incredible cast. Justice
I know.
is just great.
I love them so much. I love that it was like us three in the movie. You know what I mean? Like I got to work with Justice every day, and if I wasn't on set, I was constantly blown away because he would literally be acting with nothing. You know what I mean? There would be no one around because you can't have anyone else in the scene for all the green screen. And I was just like, that, and he's great. It needed that, you know?
One word to sum up this experience to be a part of this legendary, again, I'll say the word nostalgic film. What would be the one-word summary for this experience?
Magic.
Fun, entertaining, bright, exciting. That's my review.
That's amazing. You're gonna tell people other than myself that, though, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm just telling you as a director, great job, man.
Oh, thank you so much.
You're a fan, if I'm not mistaken, of the Pokemon and franchise and the games, and you're like you're big time invested in this.
I'm big time invested via my kids. So I have a 12-year-old son, 10-year-old daughter. So I've invested financially into Pokemon for years. But yeah, the games, the anime, movies, the television series, the toys, the cards, the whole thing.
A lot of parents watching us right now going, yeah, I
Tell me about it.
I know what that cost. What inspired you to take this on?
Well, I mean, my kids was the number one reason. And then I got a call from the producers at Legendary, and they told me that it was going to be based on this Detective Pikachu game, which wasn't out yet. It was being developed in Japan at the time. And they told me about the main character, Detective Pikachu, and I fell in love with there's a real emotional storyline to it that made a lot of sense for the movie, and so I was on board.
You go to the president of Pokemon
Yeah.
because of some characters that you wanted to work with. Is that true?
That is true. I mean, on a lot of things. We worked, yes, we went to the president of the Pokemon Company, and pretty much the entire Pokemon Company got involved, and we worked very closely with them and all the original creators, and the original designer who drew Pikachu, Ken Sugimori, was involved in overseeing the concept art when we were designing all the characters. But yeah, I flew to Tokyo a lot.
Well, I wasn't even going to ask this, but it just popped in my head.
What?
What is the president of Pokemon's office like? Does he have the character? No, because see, now I'm like...
Don't get me in trouble, man.
No, but does he have to... Okay, just a simple question.
I've only been in it once. I
Does he
usually
have-
meet in a conference room, but
Wait.
I earned my way into his office once.
Does he have characters everywhere? I just want to know that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you walk into you go into this tower, and then you go into the lobby, and the floor is a Pokeball, and then it's just a litany of Pokemon toys that line the halls, and
See, that's cool.
yeah, it's
To
pretty
me,
cool.
That's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool.
All right, so the movie's done. It's now going out to the world. It's fantastic. Looking back at this project, how big of a job was this? It seems like it was being massive. The fan base is incredible. I mean, this is a big deal.
It's a big deal. I mean, I'm nervous. We want it to be right for the fans. The fans really care, and not just the kids. I mean, there's fans who are in their 20s, early 30s who grew up on it and really care about Pokemon and want us to get it right. And across the globe, I mean, there's fans everywhere. So it was daunting. We worked really hard. It was very complicated. We shot in London and Scotland under crazy weather conditions. Justice did this amazing performance with no one there except a puppet sometimes, or nothing. And we joke about there's this scene with Mr. Mime, and showed up on set, and it was a stool and a lamp, and he had to act with two characters. It was crazy. And then Ryan on the other side of that was also doing a performance a lot of times without Justice. So it's incredible how it all kind of came together.